Okay, so I'm going to focus on releasing tension in Mark's hands. There's no right or wrong way. You could go straight to Mark, you could go straight to your client's hands from here. I actually do prefer to make the connection from where I've worked, which is the back, to the hand. So I actually want to warm up the arm a little bit. Just have a little feel for what's going on. Apply a little bit of oil and just get a bit of warmth into the muscle. Just get it loosened off. Okay, so I'm going to start working in loosening off Mark's hands. I'm using a grip here, so I am applying pressure with the heel of my hand to the top of Mark's hand, but actually the most detailed work is using my fingers, the tips of my fingers working underneath Mark's hands. I am going to turn over so you can see this in a second. It's very important to have your nails trimmed short, shorter than you think. I probably trim my nails 2 to 3 times per week because you're really using the tips of your fingers to get in here. So if I tip Mark's hand over, really this is what it looks like. This is what I'm doing. I'm using my fingertips to work on both sides, like this. Working along the bands at the side of the hand, along the thumb. So if I turn Mark's hand back over, so remember that's what I'm doing underneath. This is what it looks like from the top. I can warm up each finger, just pulling. You may even at this stage, just like that, just get some clicks, which is a nice sign that you're already loosening and releasing tension from the hand. I wasn't particularly forcing the clicks there, but just pulling and opening and stretching up these fingers. So the bands of tension on the fingers that we're focusing on run just at the edge of the finger here, and also on the same place on the other side. We also have the same underneath the finger, just coming in at the corner here. These are the 4 areas that we're working on. There's different ways to work the finger. You can literally just squeeze in from the side. So avoiding squeezing the nail, but just working in like so. Just avoiding the knuckles. Just pressing and holding. And you can do the same from the top. So I'm just pressing down using the tip of my thumb and this part of my finger underneath, just pressing and holding. Just working up the finger. Okay, so this move which you were taught on the course, I want to show you working up the side. It's a twisting movement. You really want to have your hands dry of oil. So I'm actually going to wipe the oil onto this towel. I'm going to wipe the oil off Mark's hands here. And this allows me to do this movement here. You will feel that band just sliding under your thumb. The important thing is that you're not sliding your thumb over the finger. I'm not doing this. I'm not twisting over the skin. I'm actually holding the skin tight and then moving like so. Just like this. Just working all the way along, avoiding the knuckles. To work the other side, I actually swap my hands over. So I'm then working like this. So the pressure's coming from the side of my thumb here. And on my finger is working into this side of the band. And I will alternate my hands throughout the treatment. I like to do this for 2 reasons. Naturally, the thumb is stronger, so I can use the precision work on this side of the band. And it's more natural for my hand to come in and work on this side. But the other reason for swapping my hands, and I do this throughout the massage, is I don't want the focus just on one hand. I don't want it to be right hand focus. I want to spread out. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working the rest of Mark's hand. I might not be giving a complete, thorough treatment. The purpose of this is just to demonstrate the moves, but I will do enough that you can just see how I work. So I'm going to continue working on this finger. When you first work into these bands on the fingers, it can feel quite painful for the client. But within just a few moments of working into these bands, you will find that you can start increasing the pressure, and what initially seemed quite sharp to the client actually just eases off very quickly. Okay, to continue working the hands, if you remember we have the bands which run up the side of the finger, you can actually just trace this through the knuckles. So you can actually work on the top of the hand just between the knuckles, just applying pressure here. There's certain ways you can do this. You can either just work directly and just separating here, or you can continue, if you feel particular tightness in this band and you want to follow it through, you can put the emphasis working on just more towards the side. So avoiding direct pressure onto the knuckle, but then just continuing right up the top of the hand. Really quite detailed work. I'm going to swap my hands, and now the emphasis is going to come in to this side. So I'm pushing down at a diagonal. So I'm going to work on the palm of Mark's hand. A good way to do this, if your table is wide enough, you can either rest the hand onto your knee. If you are going to do this, make sure you put a towel across your knee. There's two reasons for this. First of all, it stops the oil getting onto your own clothes, but it also just creates a barrier. It's the difference between putting the client's hand on your knee and actually just creating that barrier. So it feels more secure and more private for the actual client. So you can continue to work the back or the palm of the hand in this position, really getting into these points just at the top. Working down this band at the side of the thumb. So you can work the palm of the hand resting on the knee like this, or you can move to the table and work like this. This allows you to use the weight of your body to actually lean in. You have straight arms and you're leaning in. Just doing that same move I showed you at the beginning, so I'm using these fingers to work underneath. Just working in between the fingers. Really getting into this band at the side of the hand. Okay, so let's move on to working the arm. Just applying some oil. While we're in this position, we might as well work on the back of Mark's arm. There's two bands that we particularly concentrate, which run just coming up here. So one coming here, and then from the thumb, following up. However, you can just work in one go the back of the forearm. You can either use the heel of your hand, or if you just apply a little bit of oil to your forearm, you can work like so. Just raising the pressure when I get to the elbow so I'm not applying pressure over the joint, and just reaching up. When we're working on the forearm, the main band that we concentrate on just runs from the thumb, and you can feel this muscle just running up here. Coming right in over the shoulder. Again, alternating hands, so I can use my thumb on this hand to work up the arm. I can use the same hand to come down, just swapping sides, so I'm now coming down here. I can then swap over hands, use my thumb. So in this move, I've worked this band working up to here. I'm turning the arm round, I'm coming down here. I can then join with this hand, working up this band on the other side. Just alternating and changing. You don't always have to do the arm in one go. It's perfectly fine if you wanted to work just the lower part of the arm, just working across the back here. As you begin to release the surface tension, you'll begin to notice more fine detail, just lumps and knots and gristle and just areas that give you some resistance. And you can just focus, you can just hold areas. I can feel this easing away on Mark's arm really nicely. However, if this was holding itself tight, you would always come back to the anchor point. So you would come back and find out where it's still tight. So it might still be tight into the thumb. And you would do more work into the anchor point before working your way back up. Again, you can use your own arm to work up the side. So one move I'm going to show you throughout the treatment is to work the muscle under isolation. So what we do with this is we apply pressure to the muscle, and then we just move that muscle while holding the pressure. So to move the muscle, in this case, I'm just lifting the arm. You can use your arm. So we're applying the pressure, moving the muscle, release. Apply the pressure, move, release. Apply the pressure, move, release. You can do this with your hands as well. Just working your way up. Whenever I do any kind of point work like this, I always feel, I like to smooth it out afterwards. Just smooth it out. So now that we have the arm very nicely loosened off, I actually like to continue this work and really get in just to the top of the shoulder here. Tightness in the neck, tightness in the shoulder can often be tracked down into the hand and into the arm. So releasing the tension in the hands and the anchor points is always going to help with releasing the tension up here. So I like to complete the journey. So we've started the hand, the arm, now working into the top here. You can also work from the top, just using your body weight just to lean in.